Hey guys, what's going on? In today's video, I'm going to be testing and reviewing the New Balance VISARO 2.0. It's a pretty interesting looking boot, unlike anything else on the market, so I'm pretty interested to see how it goes. Let's get straight into the video. First things first, let's talk about what you see in this boot. It's quite different to anything else that's currently on the market. It's got a weird sort of hexagonal pattern. Some of the hexagons are padded. Some of them are actually indented into the upper. It gives it a very, very unique appearance. The color of the boot as well is quite interesting. You've got the gray and the bright orange. I'm a little bit confused with New Balance here because it's like they've tried to make an understated yet outrageously colorful boot at the same time, and I'm not quite sure it's worked. Let me know your thoughts down below on the colorway of the new VISARO. As for comfort, like the Furon, the VISARO does not have a sock liner. Instead, it's got a fresh foam footbed, which offers relatively good comfort, although it is a little bit thinner compared to the first VISARO. I didn't notice it too much. It was okay. It was still a fairly comfortable boot. Also in the heel of this boot, you'll see two pads either side of your heel to help lock your heel in place in the back of the boot. I didn't find that it worked too much, although it adds a little bit of comfort towards the back of the boot. That being said though, your heel does press straight against the upper, and I found that to be slightly uncomfortable in the longer sessions, but if you're just wearing them for 90 minutes, it should be no issue. As for break-in time, it took me a few sessions, probably about 5 to 6 hours to break these in properly. However, they are relatively comfortable out of the box, not too bad there, but they definitely get better the more you wear them. And as for which size to go for, I stuck with my usual size and I found them to be ever so slightly small. So you may want to try them on in the shop before you buy them, just to make sure you get the right size, because they do run a tad small. The sole plate on the VISARO is fairly stiff, and you notice it straight out of the box. It takes a little bit of time for it to get a little bit more flexible. This isn't necessarily a bad thing though. I found that when pushing off the mark or accelerating away, it gives you a bit more resistance, almost like a starting block for a sprinter, and it really helps propel you forward, which is quite good for the creative midfielder. It also helps when changing direction at high speed. It means the boot is fairly stable and you don't have to worry about it twisting and turning while you're twisting and turning. So it's actually very responsive. The studs, my opinion on these is mixed. You have conical studs under the forefoot, triangular studs around the rest of the boot. But when playing on longer grass, I found them to be ever so slightly small. They could have been a little bit longer, but unless you're playing on long grass, you won't really notice it that much. And they're actually pretty good. The stud placement as well, quite good. So I have to commend New Balance on that. Now let's talk about the part of the boot that this is really aimed towards while you're on the ball. It's designed for the creative midfielder, and you can really tell they've added some features targeted for that. Like I said before, the hexagonal upper has some padding to it and also some grip. The pads on the instep I found to give some cushioning while receiving passes and controlling the ball, but it wasn't over the top or anything terribly noticeable. On the outside of the foot, the pads didn't really make a difference to me. The grip helped me dribble slightly, but I didn't really feel too much, to be honest. The one that I found the most effective was the grip on the inside here. When curling a shot or curling a pass, they add a bit more grip, and I could tell, not a lot, but I could definitely tell that it helps a little bit. The upper is relatively thin in the spots where it isn't cushioned, so you do need to be careful if you're wearing this boot either as a defender or a striker who wants to lunge into challenges. It's not going to give you an awful lot of protection in the unpadded parts. Even in the padded parts, there's not a lot of protection, so you do need to be careful. That is the trade-off you get from a thin upper. Last thing I want to talk about with you guys is the durability. So far I've worn these for about 7 to 8 hours and I haven't had any durability issues. It seems to be a very solid boot and New Balance have made it very, very well. The only slight issue I have is on the join between the upper and the sole plate where the fresh foam footbed comes out the side. I think this could be a little bit of a weak point in the boot. I certainly hope it's not, but only time will tell. I'll have to wear these for a bit longer to see if it will actually separate. Alright guys, that'll do it for me. If you want to see a comparison video between the new VISARO and the old VISARO, leave a comment down below and let me know. Leave a comment as well, let me know your thoughts on this new boot. Quite interesting really in the design. Some of the features, just everything about it really is quite interesting. Like my Facebook page, follow me on Instagram if you want to stay up to date with what's happening off the pitch, and if you also want to send me videos for my other series that I'm doing, which is where I recreate certain challenges. But that'll be it for me guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.